When you guys have looked at Shedeur Sanders, what stood out to you as something that, impressed you about him, and from what you've seen on film getting ready from this Sunday?
Well, I think he elevated a program. He certainly helped bring a lot of eyes to Colorado because they did some great things when he was there. And, I'm never going to call myself a Colorado fan, and I was watching their games, as a Nebraska guy. So, I thought that he did a great job, in collaboration with a lot of other people that really did a great job at Colorado. And so then for him to come in the league and as a rookie have success, I think is really impressive. And so again, we've got a tough task in front of us, and he's done a really good job, and he's got confidence. He's obviously got a lot of reps under his belt now, and he's made a lot of plays for these guys.
Okay. We got Cincinnati Bengals head coach Zac Taylor. His ass might be on the chopping block too. Him and Kevin Stefanski might be in the unemployment line together. He did not hold back on Shedeur Sanders. He kept it real and gave his honest take on Shedeur Sanders as a quarterback and his talent and all of that. Let's get into it. Welcome to Keep the Vision. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, share the channel, hit that bell notification, and hype the video as well. Let's get into what Zac Taylor had to say about Shedeur Sanders.
Surreal to be at the last week of the season.
Just focus on the game. Just doing everything we can to find a way to win.
Is it challenging at all to make sure everyone's locked in on that and not thinking?
I haven't found that at all. It's been great energy from our guys. Helpful that we've won the last two. I think to keep the energy up at this point of the year, but everybody's been great.
Do you think there's value in winning these games to show the front office, hey, this offseason, if we make a couple of moves, we can be right back where we were?
We're not showing anybody. We're all in this thing together, so I don't think there's any need to show anybody anything.
If there's any moves to be made, it might be your ass.
Weeks ago about how you evaluate all the quarterbacks in the draft. When you guys have looked at Shedeur Sanders, what stood out to you as something that, impressed you about him, and from what you've seen on film getting ready from this Sunday?
Well, I think he elevated a program. He certainly helped bring a lot of eyes to Colorado because they did some great things when he was there. And, I'm never going to call myself a Colorado fan, and I was watching their games, as a Nebraska guy. So, I thought that he did a great job, in collaboration with a lot of other people that really did a great job at Colorado. And so then for him to come in the league and as a rookie have success, I think is really impressive. And so again, we've got a tough task in front of us, and he's done a really good job, and he's got confidence. He's obviously got a lot of reps under his belt now, and he's made a lot of plays for these guys.
Hey, salute Zac Taylor. You good in my book. You kept it real. He definitely changed Colorado around. They won one goddamn game before he got there, and then all of a sudden they win 4. Then they win 8. They in bowl games. They're relevant. They're the most watched team in the country. Yeah, Travis Hunter, Heisman, like Jimmy Horn. He got all of his receivers to the NFL. Jimmy Horn, NFL. Will Shepard, NFL. LeJontay Wester, NFL. Old boy with the dreads that got picked up by the Arizona Cardinals, that he was there the first year when Xavier Weaver, NFL. Shedeur Sanders got all of his receivers to the NFL. What are we talking about here? Salute to Zac Taylor for keeping it real, man.
A coach fighting for his job just said what everyone in the NFL was thinking, but nobody had the guts to say out loud. Zac Taylor, whose seat is getting just as hot as Kevin Stefanski's, just broke the code of silence around Shedeur Sanders, and what he revealed about that 5th-round fall is going to make your jaw drop. See, this wasn't your typical coach speak BS. This wasn't some carefully crafted PR answer designed to avoid controversy. Nah. Zac Taylor looked into that camera and told the truth about what Shedeur did at Colorado, what he's doing in Cleveland, and why the entire NFL should be paying attention. And the wildest part, he basically admitted, without saying it directly, that the league messed up by letting him fall that far. When a division rival coach who has to face Shedeur twice a year starts giving you flowers like this, you know something special is happening. Buckle up, because what Zac Taylor just revealed changes the entire narrative.
There's only so much you're kind of looking at guys, in day 3. Was there any surprise, in that room when a guy like Shedeur fell as far as he did, especially to a division rival, knowing that you're probably going to face him at some point?
I don't really have a great response to that.
How do you view Bears
Yeah,
and Patriots
he knows.
entering 2026, now 10, 15 starts into their individual career?
Yeah,
Zac Taylor knows it was BS the how Shedeur fell to the 5th round. He knows it was bullshit. He knows it. Man, hey, he just couldn't say it. He just couldn't say it. He's trying to keep a job.
All right, let me set the scene for you real quick because context matters here. It's the last week of the season. The Cincinnati Bengals are clinging to playoff hopes by a thread. Their head coach, Zac Taylor, is sitting in a press conference knowing that if they don't make the postseason, his job might be in serious jeopardy. He's got Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, a loaded offense that should be dominating, but they're on the outside looking in. And in the middle of all this pressure, all this uncertainty about his own future, a reporter asks him about Shedeur Sanders. Now, most coaches in this situation would give you the standard answer. He's a good player, we respect him, we're focused on our game plan, next question. That's what you expect, right? Especially from a divisional rival coach who's about to face this kid. But that's not what Zac Taylor did. Instead, he gave one of the most honest, revealing assessments of Shedeur Sanders we've heard from any NFL coach this season. And when you break down what he said, and more importantly, what he didn't say, it tells you everything you need to know about how the league really views this kid. Let's start with the big one. When asked what stood out about Shedeur, Zac Taylor said, "I think he elevated a program." Now pause right there. That's a massive statement. He didn't say he had some good games or he made some plays. He said Shedeur elevated an entire program. That's not something you say lightly about a rookie quarterback, especially one that went in the 5th round. But Taylor didn't stop there. He went on. He certainly helped bring a lot of eyes to Colorado because they did some great things when he was there.
At the last week of the season.
just focus on the game. Just doing everything we can to find a way to win.
Is it challenging at all to make sure everyone's locked in on that and not thinking?
I haven't found that at all. It's been great energy from our guys. Helpful that we've won the last 2. I think to keep the energy up at this point of the year, but everybody's been great.
Do you think there's value in winning these games to show?
Listen to how Taylor described what Shedeur's doing in Cleveland. For him to come in the league and as a rookie have success, I think it's really impressive. He's got confidence, he's obviously got a lot of reps under his belt now, and he's made a lot of plays for these guys. That word impressive is doing a lot of heavy lifting there. Because remember, this is coming from a coach who has Joe Burrow, one of the best quarterbacks in the entire NFL. Zac Taylor sees elite quarterback play every single day in practice. He coaches against Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, the best of the best, and he's calling a 5th-round rookie impressive. Let that sink in. But there's another layer to this that most people are missing. Zac Taylor isn't just complimenting Shedeur to be nice. He's preparing his team to face him. And when a coach talks this openly about how dangerous an opponent is, it's because he genuinely respects the threat they pose. "We've got a tough task in front of us," Taylor said. "He's done a really good job." That's not lip service. That's recognition. That's a coach who's watched the film and seen what Shedeur can do, and who's telling his players, this kid is for real. We better be ready. Now, let's talk about the elephant in the room, the draft evaluation that led to Shedeur falling so far. When you listen to Zac Taylor talk about Shedeur, you can hear the cognitive dissonance. On one hand, he's describing a quarterback who elevated an entire program, who's having impressive success as a rookie, who's confident and making plays. On the other hand, that same quarterback went in the 5th round. How does that math work? It doesn't. And Zac Taylor knows it doesn't. That's why his response to the question about being surprised Shedeur fell so far was so telling. He couldn't give a straight answer because the honest answer would have been, yeah, of course we were surprised. This kid was a 1st or 2nd round talent and everybody knew it. But he can't say that because saying that would be admitting that either A, his front office missed on Shedeur's evaluation, or B, there was something else going on that had nothing to do with football talent. And we all know which one it is. Let me also point out something else that's crucial here. Zac Taylor specifically mentioned that Shedeur did great things at Colorado in collaboration with a lot of other people that really did a great job. That's important because it pushes back against the narrative that Shedeur only succeeded because of Coach Prime and all the hype around the program. Zac Taylor is acknowledging, yes, there were other factors, but he leads with Shedeur elevated the program. He gives Shedeur the credit first, then acknowledges the supporting cast. That's the opposite of what we've been hearing from the national media all year. They've been trying to tell us that Shedeur was just along for the ride, that Coach Prime created all the success, that Shedeur was just benefiting from being Dion's son. But Zac Taylor, who has no reason to prop up Shedeur, who actually has incentive to downplay him since he has to game plan against him, is saying, nah, this kid is the real deal.
And it's cold, and there's every excuse not to be here. And so really it was appreciated by myself and our team just to see the support. I looked up in that upper deck, and there's people up there, and I don't know if that'd be me, but they showed up and they supported us, and I appreciate that. And we look forward to rewarding them with championship level football next year.
Talked about as a milestone, kind of happen organically. To see Joe go over 1,000, Mark gets to 100.
You're happy for those guys because the work that they've put in to get there, and you know to get there, I think for a lot of guys is it's special because they put in the work, and it's.
And that, my friends, is the most honest answer we're going to get from an NFL coach about the Shedeur Sanders draft situation. Let's also talk about the timing of all this. We're in Week 18. The regular season is about to end. Playoff spots are being decided, and Zac Taylor is spending time in his press conference talking about how impressive a rookie quarterback is and how tough a task his team has ahead of them. That's not throwaway comments. That's legitimate concern. That's a coach who knows his defense is going to have to deal with a quarterback who can make a lot of plays, as Taylor put it. And you know what else? Taylor mentioned that Shedeur has confidence and a lot of reps under his belt now. That's important because it shows Taylor has been watching Shedeur's progression throughout the season. This isn't just based on one game or one highlight reel. This is based on watching 7 games of tape and seeing consistent growth and consistent playmaking. That's the kind of evaluation that matters. That's the kind of assessment that carries weight. Now, let me bring this full circle and talk about what this means for Shedeur moving forward. When you have opposing coaches, especially coaches fighting for their own jobs, going out of their way to praise you, that's when you know you've arrived. That's when you know you're being taken seriously. That's when you know the 5th-rounder pick label is starting to fade away, and people are just seeing you as a legitimate NFL quarterback. Zac Taylor didn't have to say any of this. He could have given generic answers. He could have focused on his own team and his own game plan. But instead, he chose to be honest about what he's seeing from Shedeur, and that honesty is more valuable than any highlight reel or stat line. Because here's the thing, coaches don't lie about opponents. They might downplay their own team to keep expectations low. They might hype up their own players to boost confidence. But when it comes to talking about the team they're about to face, they tell the truth because they need their own team to understand the challenge ahead. And Zac Taylor's truth is, Shedeur Sanders is a problem. He elevated Colorado. He's having impressive success in the NFL. He's got confidence. He's making plays. And the Bengals better be ready for him. That's not coming from a media personality trying to generate clicks. That's not coming from a fan with a bias. That's coming from a professional NFL head coach who has every incentive to downplay his opponent and who still couldn't help but give Shedeur his flowers. And you know what the craziest part is? This is just the beginning. This is Shedeur with 7 starts, 7 games of NFL experience. Imagine what Zac Taylor is going to be saying after Shedeur has a full season under his belt, after he has a full offseason in an NFL training program, after he has a full year of studying NFL defenses. If he's already impressive as a rookie with limited reps, what's he going to be in year 2? Year 3.
That's what should have NFL front offices sweating right now. Not just the Browns, but every team that passed on Shedeur in the draft. Because Zac Taylor just confirmed what we've been saying all along. This kid is special. This kid was worth a 1st or 2nd round pick, and every team that let him fall is going to regret it. Let me also point out that Zac Taylor brought up something that often gets overlooked. Shedeur helped get multiple receivers to the NFL. Jimmy Horn Jr., Will Shepard, LeJontay Wester, Xavier Weaver,
All these guys got opportunities because Shedeur made them look good. That's quarterback play. That's elevating everyone around you. That's what the great ones do. And now, in Cleveland, we're starting to see the same thing. Jerry Jeudy is having his best stretch of games. Other receivers are getting opportunities. The offense is showing life for the first time all season. That's not coincidence. That's Shedeur doing what he's always done, making everyone around him better. Zac Taylor sees it. The tape doesn't lie. And now the rest of the league is starting to see it too. Look, at the end of the day, this press conference from Zac Taylor matters because it represents a shift. The narrative is changing. The skepticism is fading. The honest evaluations are starting to come out. A coach whose job is on the line, who has nothing to gain from praising an opponent, just went on record saying Shedeur Sanders elevated Colorado, is having impressive success in the NFL, and represents a tough task for his defense. That's not coach speak. That's respect. That's recognition. That's validation from someone who actually has to game plan against Shedeur and who knows what elite quarterback play looks like. And now, in Cleveland, we're starting to see the same thing. Jerry Jeudy is having his best stretch of games. Other receivers are getting opportunities. The offense is showing life for the first time all season. That's not coincidence. That's Shedeur doing what he's always done, making everyone around him better. Zac Taylor sees it. The tape doesn't lie. And now the rest of the league is starting to see it too. Look, at the end of the day, this press conference from Zac Taylor matters because it represents a shift. The narrative is changing. The skepticism is fading. The honest evaluations are starting to come out. A coach whose job is on the line, who has nothing to gain from praising an opponent, just went on record saying Shedeur Sanders elevated Colorado, is having impressive success in the NFL, and represents a tough task for his defense. That's not coach speak. That's respect. That's recognition. That's validation from someone who actually has to game plan against Shedeur and who knows what elite quarterback play looks like. And when that reporter asked if he was surprised Shedeur fell to the 5th round and Zac Taylor couldn't give a straight answer, that told us everything we needed to know. The NFL knows it messed up. The coaches know it. The front offices know it. They just can't say it out loud yet. But Shedeur is going to keep making them regret it, game after game, season after season, until the day comes when everyone looks back and asks, how did 31 teams let him fall to the 5th round? And the answer will be the same answer it's always been. They let the noise cloud their judgment. They let the name and the hype distract them from the talent. They made the same mistake the media has been making for 2 years. But Zac Taylor, he's not making that mistake anymore. He sees what's real. And what's real is that Shedeur Sanders is a problem for the Bengals this Sunday and for the rest of the NFL for years to come. Now I want to hear from you. Do you think Zac Taylor basically admitted the NFL was wrong about Shedeur? Do you think more coaches are going to start speaking this honestly about him? And most importantly, how many teams are already regretting passing on him in the draft? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Let's have a real conversation about this, because this story is just getting started. And if you've been riding with me since day one, if you appreciate the breakdown that goes beyond the surface level takes, hit that subscribe button, because we're going to keep bringing you the truth about Shedeur Sanders while everyone else is still catching up. Zac Taylor just confirmed what we already knew. The question is, how long until the rest of the league catches up? Let's get it.